Even though INFJs are among the most successful personality types, they tend to stay anchored in reality for unknown reasons. Why then are INFJs the world's most practical dreamers? 8. Their visions are carefully considered. Every dream is accompanied with a practical roadmap, a sequence of deliberate actions that close the distance between idea and actuality. These are real buildings built on the firm foundation of careful thought, not just fantastical castles in the sky. INFJs are unique in that they can combine creativity with pragmatism. Their visions dance deftly between what could be and what is, rather than being cut off from the limitations of reality. They are able to fantasize while keeping their feet firmly planted in the practical ground of visibility because to this delicate balance. Dreaming is a complex process that combines idealism and realism for INFJs. They have an instinctive grasp that a vision needs to be a roadmap for action rather than just a fancy idea in order to be transformative. INFJs recognize that thorough planning is necessary for a robust construction. Thus, they take into account the foundations as well as the great heights while designing their dream architecture. 7. They are adept at walking the narrow path between hope and reality. Though they are not afraid to imagine the impossible, INFJs are distinguished by their acute sense of where they are walking. They skillfully dance between realism, which acknowledges the subtleties of the present, and optimism, which conjures up vivid images of what might be. Their ability to walk the delicate edge is evidence of their emotional intelligence. INFJs are aware of how optimism can inspire dreams, but they also know how critical it is to keep those dreams rooted in the real world. It's a subtle dance, supported by a realistic awareness of the obstacles that lie ahead rather than the weight of cynicism impeding their utopian ambitions. This equilibrium is a calculated approach to dreaming, not a concession. INFJs make sure that their dreams are grounded in reality and aren't just fluffy ideals by incorporating both realistic and optimistic elements into their plans. INFJs cultivate aspirations that are motivating and attainable through this careful balancing act. 6. They take a creative and pragmatic approach to problems. For INFJs, challenges are canvases ready to be painted with a combination of creative solutions and practical practicality, not obstacles. When faced with challenges, INFJs don't turn to traditional methods of problem solving. Instead, they choose a creative exploratory route. Their creative thinking inspires unconventional but groundbreaking methods since their brains are open to possibilities. They bring a unique flair to their solutions that sets them out as nonconformist thinkers, whether they are addressing personal struggles or larger societal challenges. INFJs are unique because of their capacity to combine creativity and pragmatism. Even while their concepts could reach tremendous heights, they are nonetheless very much grounded in the realities of execution. Instead of disengaging from the practicalities of life, their dreamer's spirit finds creative solutions to the obstacles presented by the outside world. Challenges provide INFJs the chance to exercise their creative and practical abilities. With a strategic perspective, they actively cultivate solutions rather than just dreaming about them. When they successfully navigate the challenging terrain of issues through a harmonic marriage of creativity and analytical thought, this innovative method turns challenges into stepping stones. 5. Flexibility in pursuing goals. Because of their extraordinary flexibility in pursuing their objectives, INFJs rank as the world's most practical dreamers. In contrast to inflexible idealists who could crumble when confronted with unforeseen turns, INFJs have an amazing capacity to adapt, change, and endure under pressure. For an INFJ dreamer, the world is a dynamic canvas that needs to be constantly adjusted rather than a set scene. They know that the road to achieving their goals is rarely a straight one. Rather, it's a meandering river with unexpected turns and currents. INFJs respond by adjusting their sails to ride the shifting winds rather than fighting against the current. For an INFJ, being adaptable means having a planned reaction to the constantly changing facts of life, not sacrificing their aspirations. Their dreams are alive, breathing visions that can stretch and bend without losing their essential qualities. They are not static, unchanging entities. They can learn from unanticipated detours and turn failures into stepping stones thanks to this dynamic strategy. 4. Emotional intelligence in dream making. INFJs are aware of how their visions affect their own and other people's emotional environments. With sensitivity and insight, their dreams are guided by their emotional intelligence, which acts as a compass. The capacity to balance the emotional and cognitive aspects of dreams is what distinguishes INFJs. They know that reasonable goals are in line with human experience as well as reason. When they create their visions, they take into account not just the actions that must be taken in order for them to come to pass, but also the emotional impact that each accomplishment will have. An acute understanding of the possible effects on relationships is another aspect of emotional intelligence in dream making. INFJs dance delicately between their own goals and the complex web of emotions that surrounds them in their social circles. Despite their lofty aspirations, they are restrained by an awareness of the potential effects these goals may have on the emotional currents in their relationships. 3. Introducing emotional intelligence into their dreams. Unlike dreamers who are only motivated by ambition or pragmatism, INFJs include a complex grasp of emotions into the core of their goals. In the fantasy world of INFJs, emotional intelligence serves as a driving force rather than a consequence. They understand that attainable goals are only one aspect of realistic dreams. Another is negotiating the murky terrain of emotions, both their own and those of those around them. The ability of INFJs to balance the emotional and cognitive parts of their dreams is what makes them unique. They know that the most powerful visions have an emotional as well as logical resonance. When they create their dreams, they take into account not just the concrete actions needed to make them come true, but also the emotional weight that each achievement will have. A strong understanding of the possible impacts on relationships is another aspect of emotional intelligence in dream making. INFJs are adept at balancing their own goals with the complex web of emotions that exists within their social circles. Despite their great aspirations, they are restrained by a keen awareness of the potential effects these goals may have on the emotional currents in their relationships. 2. They divide their aspirations into attainable benchmarks. For INFJs, dreams are not ethereal spectacles, but rather modular constructions built precisely with attainable milestones in mind. Every goal is broken down into smaller, more achievable parts, turning the seemingly insurmountable into a sequence of doable actions. INFJs are unique in that they can strike a balance between aspirational goals and a practical plan. Even though their aspirations may soar to the heavens, the journey there is painstakingly planned, one step at a time. This strategy not only helps them achieve their goals more easily, but it also gives them a sense of success and advancement at every turn. Breaking down dreams is a smart strategy to realize the extraordinary, not a sign of weakness for INFJs. They realize that achieving their goals will take time and effort. It's not a sprint. Through breaking down their aspirations into attainable benchmarks, they design a path that not only takes them forward but also serves as an example for others to follow. 1. They grow from failures. INFJs view obstacles as necessary stepping stones between aspiration and reality rather than as obstacles to overcome in order to achieve their goals. An INFJ's resilience stems from their capacity to turn losses into learning experiences rather than from a dislike of failing. Instead of being discouraged by missteps or diversions, they see these events as teaching opportunities from which they may draw important lessons that will eventually help them realize their dreams. INFJs are distinguished by their adaptable way of handling setbacks. They actively learn from obstacles rather than just enduring them. Every obstacle turns into a classroom, and every misstep is a teacher sharing important information. Their ability to adapt enables them to change, reassess their tactics, and come out stronger and better prepared for the path ahead. An INFJ views failures as opportunities for growth rather than as signs of inadequacy. They explore the details of what went wrong, drawing conclusions that improve their strategy and bolster their fortitude. This introspective process is about being a better dreamer, not just about getting over challenges. If you're an INFJ, does having the ability to learn from mistakes also figure in your realistic dreams? INFJs are unique because of their remarkable capacity to strike a balance between idealism and realism. They make sure that the pursuit of their goals stays grounded in the realities of the world they live in by dreaming big yet acting rationally. Do you also acknowledge being a realistic dreamer, despite being an INFJ? How are you able to accomplish this?